There are moments when you don't recognize yourself. Not physically, but internally. One version of you wants to grow, to change, to become someone new. And another version pulls you back. It hesitates. It delays. It sabotages things you genuinely care about. You promise yourself you'll start tomorrow. But tomorrow arrives. And the other version of you takes control again. This doesn't feel like laziness. It feels like division. And the most unsettling part is, both versions feel like you. So which one is real? You notice it in small moments. You get excited about something new. A new habit. A new direction. A new version of your life. And for a moment, everything feels aligned. Clear. Possible. But then, something shifts. The excitement fades faster than it should. You hesitate. You delay. You distract yourself with things that don't matter. Not because you don't care, but because something inside you resists movement. You start questioning yourself. Why am I like this? Why do I stop myself? Why can't I just stay consistent? This creates a quiet form of identity confusion. Because your intentions and your actions don't match. You want one thing, but you do another. Over time, this creates a subtle fracture in how you see yourself. You stop trusting your own motivation. You stop believing your own promises. And slowly, you begin to feel unreliable to yourself. Psychology calls this an internal conflict between competing self-systems. But it doesn't feel like a theory. It feels personal. It feels like something inside you isn't fully on your side. And the question becomes, why would your own mind work against you? Here's what most people misunderstand. This isn't dysfunction. It's adaptation. Your brain didn't split randomly. It split for protection. At some point in your life, stability became more important than growth. Predictability became more important than possibility. Because unpredictability carries risk. Rejection, failure, loss. The brain's primary job isn't happiness. It's survival. And survival favors what's familiar, even if what's familiar isn't ideal. So instead of becoming one unified system, your mind became two. One part designed for safety. One part designed for expansion. Neither is wrong. But they want different things. And they operate on different timelines. To understand this, you need to understand how the brain prioritizes safety. There's a system in your brain called the limbic system. It constantly scans for threats. Not just physical threats, but psychological threats. Embarrassment, rejection, failure, identity loss. When you try to change your life, you're not just changing actions. You're changing identity. And identity is treated as a survival structure. Your brain doesn't ask, is this better? It asks, is this familiar? Familiar equals safe. Unfamiliar equals uncertain. Uncertain equals potential threat. So the moment you begin moving toward a new version of yourself, your threat detection system activates. Not to hurt you, but to stabilize you. This creates what psychologists call self-discrepancy tension. One version of you represents your current identity. Another represents your possible identity. And the brain experiences tension between them. Here's a simple mental model. Imagine your identity as a thermostat. It's set to a specific temperature. If the temperature rises too quickly, the thermostat activates cooling to bring it back down. Not because warmth is bad, but because stability is the priority. Your brain does the same thing with identity. When you move too far from your baseline, it activates behaviors that pull you back. Distraction, avoidance, procrastination. Not as punishment, but as regulation. This is why change feels harder than it logically should. Because you're not just fighting habits. You're encountering a system designed to preserve continuity. And this system is very patient. But there's something important it doesn't understand. It doesn't know the difference between old safety and new safety. That realization changes everything. The solution isn't to destroy the protective version of yourself. It's to retrain it. Slowly. Predictably. Safely. Because safety is the language your brain understands. Here's how. What to do. Make changes smaller than your ambition. So small they feel almost insignificant. Why it works. The limbic system reacts to sudden identity shifts as threats. Small changes avoid triggering threat detection. This allows the prefrontal cortex, the rational planning part of your brain, to stay in control. Example. Instead of committing to 2 hours of something new, commit to 5 minutes. Because consistency stabilizes identity faster than intensity. Your brain learns, this is safe. And safety allows repetition. What to do? Focus on collecting proof, not achieving outcomes. Why it works? Your brain updates identity based on evidence, not intention. Each completed action becomes data, and the brain uses data to redefine what's normal. Example. When you show up repeatedly, even imperfectly, your brain slowly shifts from, this isn't me, to, this is someone I am becoming. Identity follows evidence, not motivation. What to do? When resistance appears, observe it without obeying it immediately. Why it works? This activates metacognition, the ability to observe thoughts instead of becoming them. This weakens automatic limbic responses and strengthens prefrontal regulation. Example. When you hear, I'll do it later. Pause. Notice it. Don't argue. Just recognize, this is the protective system speaking, not the entire you. Awareness creates separation. Separation creates choice. What to do? Repeat behaviors regardless of how you feel. Why it works? The brain trusts patterns more than emotions. Emotions fluctuate. Patterns signal safety. Consistency rewires neural pathways through neuroplasticity. Example. Showing up when you don't feel like it teaches your brain. This is stable. And stability becomes identity. Not intensity. Not inspiration. Just repetition. What to do? Allow the old version of yourself to exist without trying to erase it. Why it works? Suppression increases limbic resistance. Acceptance reduces threat perception, which allows gradual replacement instead of internal conflict. Example. Instead of saying, I shouldn't be like this, recognize, this part helped me survive. And now, it can rest. The brain transitions safely when it doesn't feel attacked. You are never one fixed identity. You are always a system designed to preserve continuity, to maintain stability, to prevent sudden collapse. The version of you that resists change isn't your enemy. It's your stabilizer. The version of you that seeks change isn't reckless. It's your evolver. Both are necessary, but they operate at different speeds. The stabilizer moves slowly. The evolver moves quickly. Sustainable change happens when they begin to trust each other, not when one destroys the other. When safety and growth stop competing and start aligning, that's when identity shifts naturally, without force, without fracture, without resistance. You were never broken. You were protecting continuity. You were preserving stability. You were maintaining a version of yourself that once made sense, even if it no longer does. And now, you're not forcing yourself to become someone else. You're allowing yourself to become someone familiar. One small proof at a time. One quiet repetition at a time. Until one day, the person you once struggled to become feels like the person you've always been. And the conflict disappears. Not because you forced it to, but because your mind finally understands. It's safe to move forward.